of steel is dipped in the bath containing molten flux of zinc chloride, and then it is passed through or dipped in through molten tin. As shown in this diagram, first a sheet is dipped in a flux tank, then its thickness is adjusted and it is dipped in molten tin where the coating of tin takes place. Tin metal resists the chemical attack, therefore tinning sheets are extensively used in the manufacturing of different types of cans for food, storing stuffs like oil, ghee, baby food, etc. Hence, tin coating is more durable than zinc. Next process which we can use to protect corrosion is Sherardizing process. This is a process of zinc diffusion coating on the iron article. As shown in this diagram, in an electric drum, zinc dust is taken and this process is primarily used for small components such as nuts and bolts. As shown in this diagram, the small articles of iron and steel are taken in this electric drum where it is packed with zinc powder or dust, and then slowly this electric drum is rotated and the temperature is raised to just below the melting point of zinc, for example 400 degree centigrade, and thus the coating of zinc or powder takes place by adhering strongly to the surface of iron, bolt or nut, etc. Another method is metal spraying. The metal spray process is basically the spraying of molten metal onto the surface of iron articles for coating. The molten metal is sprayed on the surface of the base metal whose coating is to be done. In this process, material or the metal to be coated is taken in the wire form and it is melted in a flame which is oxyacetylene flame, and the flame atomizes this metal wire in the form of droplets. So atomized using compressed air to form a fine spray. As shown in this diagram, the wire is subjected inside the nozzle where in presence of oxyacetylene flame and compressed air, the wire is converted into form of droplets, into form of spray. They are fed in as they are fed in the form of powder or wire form, they are heated to molten or semi-molten state and accelerated towards the substrate, that is the base metal, in the form of micrometer size particle, very small particles, which results the coating by accumulation of these numerous sprayed particles. The process relies on the chemical reaction between the oxygen and a fuel of combustion to produce a heat source. This heat source creates a gas stream with a temperature in excess of 3000 degrees centigrade with correctly balanced condition between the oxygen and acetylene, and hence the wire is converted into the semi-molten droplets form. Next is metal cladding process. This is a process which involves binding of dense and homogeneous layer of coating material to the base metal on one or both sides of the metal. As shown in this diagram, the base metal which is to be coated is sandwiched between the two cladding material or the two cladding layers, and it is passed between the rollers. Same way, the cladding material used are corrosion resistant such as nickel, copper, lead, silver, etc. Alloys can also be used as a cladding material. The choice of cladding material depends on the environment in which the base material or metal is to be used. This particular metal cladding process is widely used in aircraft industry, where a plate of duraluminum is sandwiched between two layers of aluminium, and generally this metal cladding process can only be applied to the plane surfaces. Another method is electroplating. Electroplating is generally used to increase the resistance to corrosion of a coated metal, to improve the hardness and physical appearance of the article, to increase the decorative and commercial values of article, to increase the confrontation to chemical attack, and to get the better properties of the surface of the article. Let us see what are the conditions for an electroplating process. Firstly, there should be a chemical electrolyte containing one or more dissolved metal salts as well as the other ions which permits the flow of electricity. Secondly, there should be a rectifier, which is an electrical device which transfers the alternating current into a direct current and supplies a direct current to the anode, which oxidizes the metal molecules and allow them to dissolve into the solution. Third, there should be an anode, positively charged metal for coating, a cathode, negatively charged article which is to be plated, where electrons are stimulated to form a film of non-ionic metal through the chemical solution, via the chemical solution, to get the target object, that is from the anode. Let us see an example. In this example, plating of copper is zinc is done. The zinc ions get deposited on the cathode. Anode is zinc metal, and the solution, the electrolyting medium, is also ZnSO4 solution. When the current is passed, the zinc ion goes into the solution and get deposited on the cathode by taking or by consuming the electrons through the electric circuit and get deposited on the cathode. Another example where plating of silver is taken. The anode is silver and cathode is taken, that material on which to be silver is to be coated. The solution again is of silver. Silver ion from the anode goes into the solution and get deposited on the particular material, that is cathode, by consuming the electron through the electrical circuit. Another type of coating which we can use on the surface of the metal is non-metallic coating. For example, ceramic coating, which is generally used to avoid oxidation at high temperature, and it shows a good wear resistance and thermal resistivity. We can use glass lining, which imparts excellent resistance and good heat resistance to the metal. Then porcelain lining is also applied, which has a more thermal shock retarder and low resistance to corrosion. Phosphate coating can also be applied as a non-metallic coating on the surface of the materials. It forms an insoluble ferric phosphate and acts as a barrier on the surface of the metal when dipped in the phosphoric acid, zinc and manganese phosphate solution. This particular picture has the wire which is coated with zinc phosphate coating. Next method is by cathodic protection. As we have seen, in an electrochemical cell, oxidation reaction takes place and generally the corrosion reaction takes place at anode. As shown in this diagram, it is an electrolytic corrosion of a buried pipeline. The pipeline is made of iron or steel, and as this iron article comes in contact with the soil environment due to the moisture impurities present in the soil, the corrosion or the oxidation of iron takes place and the electron is transferred to cathodic area and removal of metal takes place. The principle behind this cathodic protection method is that the metal acting as anode, for example in this image it is shown that iron or pipeline is corroded, so this metal acting as anode is forced to behave as a cathode by thereby reducing the corrosion rate. Generally, this method is used for the structure immersed in soils or electrically conducting liquids. The cathodic protection is the best way to control corrosion. This can be done in different two ways. First one, impressed current cathode protection, or it is also called as electrolytic method, and second as a sacrificial anodic method. Let us see one by one these two methods. impressed current cathode protection. An impressed current is applied in this method. An impressed current is applied in the opposite direction to nullify the corrosion current and convert the corroding metal from anode to cathode. The positive terminal is connected to insoluble anode like graphite or scrap iron or platinum steel, and the current from external source is applied in the opposite direction to that of corrosion current. That means the current is impressed. As shown in this diagram, the first is the corroding diagram of picture of corroding pipe, where a galvanic current is set, a cathode anode is developed, and this particular pipeline is protected by cathode impressed current cathodic protection by introducing a graphite anode, by connecting the graphite anode, which is buried in a black fill like gypsum or coke grease. By connecting this to the pipeline and by applying the external source of current in the opposite direction to that of corrosion current, this increases the electrical contact between itself and the surrounding soil, and thus the anode, which is graphite, it starts corroding instead of the buried pipeline. The anode, as I say, is usually black fill composed of coke, grease or gypsum so as to increase the electrical contact with the surrounding soil, and it is generally applied to open water box coolers, water tanks, buried oil or water pipes, condensers, transmission line towers, marine pipe, laid up ships, etc. This impressed current in this method is derived from a direct current source like battery or rectifier on AC line with an insoluble inert anode. Another method is sacrificial anodic method protection. This can be achieved by coupling a component to metal which is more anodic or reactive, and hence this metal is called as sacrificial anode. As we have seen in the galvanic series, there are different metals arranged with respect to their reactivity to the environment or oxygen. As shown in this diagram, the buried pipeline is protected by sacrificial anodic method by connecting it with the magnesium metal which act as anode, and the iron pipe becomes cathode, because in galvanic series magnesium is more reactive than iron. Thus, a sacrificial anode is a piece of very active metal. It is usually zinc or magnesium which is more galvanically active. In this, the iron surface is covered with zinc, which acts as a protective coating on the surface of iron, and as zinc is more galvanically active than iron, it prevents iron from corrosion. The sacrificial anode will be the only metal corroded, and even previously active anode on the pipe wall will become cathodes and thus protected. Another example where we can see the sacrificial anodic protection method is in case of oil rig. In oil rig, below the sea level, the steel legs, to prevent the corrosion of these steel legs, it is connected with the magnesium block and through a cable. As the passage of time pass, the corrosion occurs on this magnesium block because it is more reactive than the steel legs. Protected made cathode and anode is selected depending on the electrolytic condition. Hence, in the case of oil rig, when these steel legs are connected with the magnesium block, first the corrosion takes place at the magnesium block, and as the time passes, these magnesium blocks are replaced by another magnesium block. In a sacrificial anodic method, the galvanic cell is instantly formed and the corrosion takes place at more anodic material, and hence the cathode is protected. Another example which we can see is the formation is a water tank, where in a mild steel water tank, if a magnesium block is inserted or immersed, The mild steel tank is protected at the cost of magnesium, which sacrifices itself by dissolving itself into the solution, and this magnesium block is again can be replaced by another magnesium block. This type of sacrificial anodic method are extensively used for buried pipelines, underground structures, ships, hulls, condensers, water tanks, etc. The magnesium rods are generally inserted into domestic water boiler or tanks to stop formation of rusty waters. Hence, we have seen the different types of corrosion protection methods, and based on these corrosion protection methods, there are some let us see some industrial process which are taken under consideration to protect the metal from corrosion. The another method which we can see is by modification of design. The surface of metal can also be shaped or designed as such so that the impurities, dirt, debris, etc. does not accumulate on the surface of metal. For example, there should not be any corners, edges, or direct contact of metal. So the modification of another method is modification by proper design. The design is the first and foremost stage for the protection again for corrosion. The points which we should take into consideration is that there should not be any greater number of angles, corners, edges in the design. Bolt, nut, weld and screws must be made from a more noble material than the joint material. The welding, if there is any welding of materials, it should be continuous. The presence of crevice between the adjacent parts of structure should be avoided. Hence, the welded bolt joints of the same metal or alloy should be used instead of riveted or bolted joints. In other words, the welding is the better joining technique than mechanical fastness. Also, the design should be such that the retention of moisture should be as low as possible. There should not be any sharp corners, and recesses should be avoided because the dust or solid particles may accumulate, leading to the further corrosion by differential aeration corrosion. The anodic